Hello, I'm Dan Pope with Stars Talent Studio. My favorite thing to do with family and friends is to go on a camp out and go fishing and go hiking and do all of the things that you do outside. My goal is to go hike to the highest peak in Utah, which is Kings Peak. It actually takes a couple of days and you have to go up through a canyon and kind of pack in and stay the night, and then you get up very early in the morning and climb up to the top of Kings Peak before there are any afternoon thunderstorms, because you don't want to be caught on that mountain with a thunderstorm. Anyway, that's my goal. I've climbed Timpanogos Peak 2 times. I've climbed other peaks many times, but going camping with the family and having marshmallows and making s'mores and playing my guitar while we're all singing around the campfire, all of those things are absolutely my favorite to do with family and friends. Coming in kind of a second would be going to Broadway shows, but let's not talk about that. Let's focus on the fact that I love to go out and go camping and be out there, and especially in the morning when we're cooking some bacon and eggs and pancakes. Oh, that sounds so good. The most fun and cool thing I have ever done is I jumped out of an airplane by myself. I took school, went on a Saturday and spent 8 hours getting the certification. And then when we were going up into the plane, we were at 18,000 feet. And on the ground, they were concerned about the winds, and they have a certain rule that if the winds are higher than a certain amount, someone who is jumping for the first time can't go out, can't jump. And so I was very disappointed. So the next week it was raining. The next Saturday I came back and I had to school again for about 3 to 4 hours just to remember everything. And then I went up, and the nice thing was I was able to bring my son Matt. So the aircraft goes up to 18,000 feet, and I flew over the Cedar Valley where Eagle Mountain is now. I mean, literally the whole area is filled with houses. But when I jumped, that was the most exciting thing I've ever done, the most terrifying thing I've ever done. As I was going down, and there were 2 other people there kind of with me, but I jumped all by myself. There was a cameraman, and he took my video of all the things I did. And when I opened the chute, it didn't open. And I was going fast, and it was just, I was going towards the ground, and all the parachute was doing is flutter, 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 flutter. And so for about 3 or 4 seconds, I'm having nearly a heart attack. And then all of a sudden it opened up, and then it was crossed. So I had to do what they call a flip kick, and I kicked back and forth, and I was able to get that parachute to open up. And for the next 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, I was about 3,000 feet above the ground, and I was able to fly that beautiful parachute all the way from the top down to the ground. And when I landed feet up. Didn't even crash. It was the most exciting, the most fun thing I've ever done in my life. My ideal vacation spot is Hawaii. We've been, myself and my wife and my kids have been to the Big Island. We've also been to Hawaii. We've been to Lahaina, and also several of the other places that you go when you're in Hawaii, and I love being there. We do a lot of snorkeling. My wife loves to snorkel, and I do too. It's a lot of fun. While we were on the Big Island, we spent 10 days, and in that time we were able to go on many, many different kinds of tours. The one that I enjoyed the most was the Volcano National Park, where we were able to see the volcano erupting and spewing lava all over the place. And so that was my favorite. We actually went there 2 different times, and then we took a helicopter ride where we were able to see where the molten lava was coming out of the side of the mountain right up close. So again, my favorite place to go is Hawaii, but that only comes in just barely ahead of some of the cruises I've been on in the Caribbean and also in other places. My favorite actor is Harrison Ford. I really love the movies he's been in. I absolutely, totally enjoyed him in Romancing the Stone, and also in Indiana Jones, where he goes everywhere finding those intricate trinkets of history. Loved the show Star Wars, actually the whole series of Star Wars, where he played Han Solo. I love that place and all of the things that he did with Chewbacca and the rest of the actors that were in the movie. Harrison Ford has been in so many movies, I couldn't even begin to name them all. But if there were an actor that I want to spend time with, it would be Harrison Ford for a day. My career has been full I started in the television business while I was a sophomore in college. I was able to go down to one of our television stations here in Salt Lake City, Channel 2, and I worked as a paid employee where I did forecasting for consulting as well as radio. I was on 47 radio stations during my career early on, 27 different phone calls I made every single morning from about 4 a.m. until 8 a.m. and then I had to do the noon shows. Ultimately, I did some television work for Channel 2, and then I moved along and worked in Oregon, and also I worked at the Weather Channel. That's the same place you see Jim Cantori and others that do the national TV. From there, I moved to Wisconsin and then back to Salt Lake City, where I spent a 22-year career as a television chief meteorologist. And I recently have been working with Fox station here in the city. I would call my career very full and very, very exciting. I was able to reach my dream because as a child, I thought, what is thunder? Why does the thunder happen and the lightning not at the same time? I was probably 5 or 6 years old. By the time I was 12, I decided I wanted to be a television meteorologist. So that's my career. I lived the dream, and I hope you'll consider me for this application.